Welcome to a special edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. We continue in our push to get Dwight Gooden on the ballot to get his rightful spot in Cooperstown. On this episode, we talk with MLBPA certified player agent and director of baseball operations of North Star Sports Management Group, Tony Giordano. He is a graduate of Manhattan College and a veteran of the United States Navy. He single-handedly built a successful baseball agency from the ground up, leading him to be one of the best-kept secrets in the business. His unique combination of tenaciousness and passion for providing top-notch representation for his clients led him to a 16-year career representing over 25 professional players like John Franco and Jeff Innis. Along the way, his player network has included a friendship with Doc Gooden. Tony has great respect for Doc's career and a steam march to get to Cooperstown. We get into their meeting, their relationship, and why he needs to be enshrined in the Hall of Fame. Enjoy this interview. Tony, thank you so much for taking a minute out to talk about Doc Gooden and this trip that we're trying to get him to Cooperstown.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Anything I could do to help would be my pleasure.
Yeah. So let's begin our journey here. Talk to me about meeting Doc. How did you galvanize a relationship with him?
Well, I knew, it's funny because I never represented Doc as an agent, but I had two players that played with him, Jeff Innis and John Franco. So I got to know Doc vis-a-vis those guys. Also, the fact that was born, raised, grew up in New York, and followed baseball very closely, both the Mets and the Yankees. In fact, I wasn't an agent yet in 86, 85, 86, 84 when Doc was there. When Doc was there, but I wasn't an agent as of yet. And then Doc played with those two. And then when he went to the Yankees, he played with another player of mine, a guy named Alan Watson, left-handed pitcher. So I got to meet him and got to know him vis-a-vis those guys. And then over the last 4 or 5 years, I got to know Doc fairly well through our sports company that I had previously worked with, Grand Central Sports, because Doc was doing a lot of public relations work for the owner. And Doc's son was working with us as well. So I got to know Doc that way. And I have a young pitcher on the Mets by the name of Noah Hall, who's an up-and-coming prospect. And I was able to hook him up with Doc. And Doc was very, courteous in regards to talking to Noah and giving him some advice. And up until this day, he picks up the phone and checks on Noah and sees how he's doing. So I've gotten to know him very well from that end. And that's really how it worked out for me.
So the big march here is a month ago, I set up a petition. It's gaining steam. There's a lot of voices that are getting out there, including Doc's. And this is the thing about Dwight Gooden. His career stats are comparable to everybody of that ilk that played in that era. And arguably, he had one of the best seasons a pitcher has ever had in the major leagues. So my question to you is, do you believe that Dwight Gooden should punch that ticket to Cooperstown?
Yeah, I do. I believe it. I think unfortunately for him, hold on. I think what happened was the issues off the field kind of affected him. I think the situation off the field kind of affected him, but taking that away and looking at his statistics and his numbers, I think he's done a fabulous job. I mean, as we spoke about previously, Jack Morris is in, and Doc's numbers are very similar to Jack's, and Jack had a lot more starts. So no question about it. I mean, for a player to be Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, almost win basically lead the league in strikeouts, Triple Crown type of winner, World Series winner, pitched a no-hitter. I mean, how much more can you do in such a short period of time? So, and also contribute to the 1986 Mets World Series after the team hadn't won a World Series in almost 20 years. So, I mean, those things alone are definitely reasons why I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. But for, I think, some of the personal issues, which, hey, people make mistakes in life. this country is very good with second chances with people. Knowing Doc now and all the work he does and all the things he does for charity, and as I said earlier, working with my young player and helping him, you pick up the phone and ask Doc to do something. He's the first one to say, "Yep, I'll do it."
And I think that's the thing about it. There's two things. You know, he's in the Mets Hall of Fame. His number's been retired. He got into the Hall of Game at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, which is where I met him in 23.
Yeah,
He's got every possible accolade. And like you said, I think there's a redemptive nature about Doc. He is a wonderful human being. He's doing so much work. I think he's redeemed himself. And my thing too is the things that he did had nothing to do with his performance on the field. He wasn't using anything that was enhancing him illegally. All of these things were aside from the field.
yes,
And he's totally rectified all of that. And the caliber of his character, that's where I'm so gung ho to get this going, because I think along with the stats, he's just a wonderful human. And I think we need to embrace that. And like you said, America's good about second chances. I think it's time Doc has it.
absolutely. I mean, you know, um, you have other players now. They're basically giving Pete Rose the opportunity to get into the Hall. Shoeless Joe Jackson, people that have done things which directly affected baseball. If those accusations were true, and because betting on a game, I mean, come on, and betting on your own game. I mean, Doc did things off the field, but what I think he did off the field, as you said, I don't think that adversely affected what he did on the field for the years he was so great. And then he came back, and in fact, he was traded to the Yankees or signed with the Yankees, and went on to help them win a World Series and pitch a no hitter. So, and also was a mentor to another great player who I believe should be in the Hall of Fame, his nephew, Gary Sheffield.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you add those things together, and the guy should be there. And hopefully, what you're doing will promote people to look at it a different light, and there will be a road for him to get there.
You know, there's a weird level of serendipity here. Before I set up the petition and started getting some steam, Pete Rose, the story came out that him and Shoeless Joe were put back on the ballot, which gave me a lot of confidence in this process. But when
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed Doc the other day, I asked him who his hero was. He told me a story of all people. He saw Pete Rose at spring training, and Pete told him, if you play your cards right, work hard enough, you get in the major leagues. 3 years later, he was at Riverfront pitching to him.
Yep. See that?
See?
It's unbelievable, right? I mean, it's how baseball works. It's it's an amazing business. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I can tell you so many different stories of how things like that happen. As I said earlier, I never had the opportunity to represent him, but the people that I knew around him that played with him all said he was a great teammate, a wonderful person to come to. He was always there to help people, and look what he's doing now off the field. He's always at charitable events. There's a charity in Long Island, New York, called the Pink Tie Dinner. It raises money for breast cancer. He's always there for that. So it's